All right. Hello, everyone. Today we have with us Bianca Spears. Bianca, thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you so much. You're welcome.
So, Bianca of youtube.com/Bianca Spears is a laughter leader and an award-winning empowerment coach. So, I was actually introduced to Bianca through her YouTube channel years ago when I was recovering from chronic Lyme disease. And her laughter videos on YouTube were recommended to me as a way to get those feel good neurochemicals going, which is just so cool. And through her little dances. So today, Bianca and I have become good friends after speaking at a brain training event last year. And now we're collaborating on a new project to help brain retrainers elevate their practices. Bianca, it's been such a joy connecting with you. I'm so glad you're here today. So tell me, how has laughter been such an important part of your life? How were you kind of initially introduced to it, and how do you use it throughout your day now?
Yeah, it's funny even just hearing that intro, like imagining me helping you back in the day as well. I'm like,
Oh,
that's so
yeah,
cool that we have the technology to do that. That's awesome.
totally.
So for me, I first discovered laughter yoga in about 10 years ago, I think 2010, somewhere around there. Um, And we did a session when I was at work and we were riding laughter motorbikes around. And I remember one of my colleagues being like, get me out of here. And I was just like, this is the best thing ever. The lady who was running that session for us was actually in town to run a leader training. I signed up immediately, but I actually then got dengue fever and was bedridden, couldn't go to that training. But I kind of kept it in my mind as something that I wanted to pursue down the track. So fast forward years later, I've lived in about four other states and traveled and all kinds of different things. I moved here to Sydney and I decided to start ticking some of these things off. I left corporate and I was like, right, I'm interested in photography. I'm interested in travel journalism. I'm interested in that laughter thing that I did that time. So I went away and did laughter yoga training. Didn't do a whole lot with it. And then since then, I've discovered other laughter modalities, laughnosis, which was really pivotal for me in helping me to use laughter in my coaching to help people to have breakthroughs. Laughter wellness, which is very similar to laughter yoga, but probably a bit more grounded, less crazy riding your motorbike stuff, more
Mhm.
about boosting and sustaining positive energy. And also moved into something last year called quantum play. So that brought in laughter, movement, and play again in a coaching context to really help people to shift. So, how I use it in my life? Well, I use it when I'm feeling triggered. So, if I'm feeling stressed, if I'm feeling nervous, if I'm feeling anxious, I use just pure laughter. I just go, and I find that really helpful, especially if it's a situation that hasn't cropped up before. Say in
Mhm.
a relationship with someone, someone's annoyed me or someone said something, and I'm like, wow, I'm having a real trigger response to that. Using laughter like immediately as those feelings arise really helps to dissipate it. So I use it for that. I use it as a practice just generally if I'm feeling a bit flat in the mornings, or I would love to say I have a daily practice. I don't. I aspire to have a daily practice. Um, yeah, I think they're the main ways that I think about using it. And then I used to be quite good with using it in the shower. That was like my time to just, as I'm starting this whole shower process, getting my towel, getting ready for the shower, getting in the shower, getting out, getting dressed, that was like my 10 minutes or so of laughter, which is good. I
That
need
was
to
your
put a
your
push.
makeshift practice. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like you really don't need to use laughter exercises. They're great for people who are starting out to use laughter yoga exercises and have those prompts. And they can
Mhm.
also be funny in a way. So they kind of inspire natural laughter. But once you get into the practice, you can really just use laughter in its pure
Mm.
form and go from there and get those results happening a lot quicker because you're not cycling through different exercises and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. And so something that you said, which sometimes people ask me about, is when we laugh, sometimes it can feel inauthentic. But you mentioned just there that laughing can actually help to dissipate a trigger. So whether that's
Mm-hmm.
stress or nervousness or anxiety or something like that, can you speak to that a little bit about, how to approach that situation if you're laughing and it feels inauthentic, or you feel like maybe you're pushing another emotion down? Can you kind of describe that process a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So I feel laughter and tears, firstly, are very closely linked because they're the body's natural release system. So
Mm.
laughter is there to help us release, and anyone who has like a nervous laugh knows that. That's why the laughter comes up to kind of relieve that nervous energy. So now I'm just blanking completely for the question.
Now it's the nervous laughter of,
Thank you
okay,
for
I've
nervous
blanked, let
laughter.
me nervously laugh. Yes, the laughter
You're
can
feeling
be that reset time. Totally.
yeah. If you're feeling uncomfortable laughing, I got it. And that's another cool thing about laughter, guys. Just a little side note, it helps to open up your mind and bring you back into balance. So
Mhm.
if you're feeling uncomfortable with laughter, number one thing I would say is I've shifted away from the laughter yoga um, philosophy, if you will, in that they encourage people to fake it till they make it and force your laughter and fake your laughter, fake it till you make it kind of thing. And they say that because it's scientifically shown that the body doesn't know the difference between real and simulated laughter. However, your mind does. And when you force yourself to do something, it's not pleasant. You force yourself to go for a run, or you force yourself to eat the healthy meal, or you force yourself to be around people that you don't really want to be around. Anything you're forcing yourself to do and faking it till you hopefully feel comfortable with it doesn't feel good because you know that you don't want to be there. You don't want to be doing that. So there's this constant battle going on inside you of like, yeah, just keep trying, just keep pushing, and hopefully I'll get there. Whereas I much prefer the philosophy that's taught in laughter wellness, which is choose to laugh.
Mm.
Like laughter is just breath. It's just like inhaling and exhaling, right? That's all it is. And
Mhm.
we're breathing all the time. So if we can choose to take a deep, slow breath in yoga or to calm ourselves down or to meditate, could we just choose to also breathe in a joyful, playful way? And that's really all it is for me. So I think that perspective shift, and I just grabbed onto that perspective because I'm all about choice in life and that we can choose at all times. And I just resonated so much more with that. And so do all my clients. And that's what I've found, I guess, shifting away from a strictly laughter yoga model and incorporating some of the other modalities, including laughter wellness, is that it's much more palatable for people to dip their toes in and try and stay not fully in their comfort zone. It's weird. It's
Mhm.
weird when you first start laughing at length because you've not practiced that since you're a kid. Like,
Mhm.
and it is just a habit and a practice. So I would say number one is choose to laugh. Number two is to treat it like a habit, and it is something new. It's going to feel awkward or weird if you've never done it before. That's the same with anything. So keep choosing it rather than forcing it or pushing it. Just choose. Just choose to build that habit. So if it starts with like 10 seconds of laughter and then you stop and you breathe and that's all you do for the day, then tomorrow maybe you put a timer on and do 20 seconds. And then you work your way up to a minute and 5 minutes and 10 minutes and slowly build that habit of choosing to laugh. And it becomes easier and easier and easier. And the chemicals start to reward you so much that it becomes very addictive anyway, right? Because
Mhm.
it feels so good. And anyone who has laughed naturally knows it feels great. Like, we enjoy laughter. It's not like, oh, I don't like laughing. And if there is a reason around that, it's probably just because of something that's happened in the past where someone's told you not to laugh, that it's inappropriate, that your laugh's too loud or too this or too that. And that in itself, choosing a different way with laughter can be a really freeing process as well.
Yeah, I love that you're the one choosing. And I've heard you say that before. I always tell people, like, I choose and I decide. And you, I've heard before say, you're in the creator's seat. You know, you are the one creating. So I love that, you know, choice that you're making to laugh, because when you decide to laugh, you're creating that new neural pathway that's not only associated to the positive, uplifting emotion of laughter, you're also creating a new neural pathway associated to you choosing for yourself. So that person that maybe was triggered before because they told that their laugh was weird is now saying, okay, yes, but I choose. So they're creating that sense of empowerment in their own lives and then choosing that kind of way to express that joy, that positivity. And I think that's so important too in this culture today, when toxic positivity can kind of, you know, feel really inauthentic, or we feel like, oh, well, this inspirational quote doesn't really make sense to me because I feel this certain way. We'll start with the decision that you're making, and then you can choose to laugh. And even if it's in that little tiny little incremental way.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I like what you've brought it back around to, that new neural pathway. That's why it feels difficult, because your brain and your body are still trying to figure out, how does this go? I just laugh and laugh and laugh. Like, what is, you're figuring it out, and that's where it feels difficult, the same as any new habit. So
Totally, totally. And it does help to have those cues like the shower to say, okay, brain says, okay, this cue, like you would create a habit, right? You have that cue first, that thing that reminds you of what routine to take. And that's that cue of that shower. And so that can be a good thing to do, is just like have that thing that reminds you to laugh.
don't combine it with eating, friends. It's dangerous. It's
Pro
dangerous.
tip.
Driving also can be dangerous.
Yeah, totally. Yes. Any exercise where you have to close your eyes, I'm like, if you are driving, make sure you're not closing your eyes here. Same with laughing, apparently. Yeah. Okay. So, and I like that. And I like your approach now, this kind of like laughter wellness approach, because especially brain retrainers, I think a lot of us who start out in a very structured practice can quickly adopt rigidity into our belief system of, okay, I have to laugh and I have to put pressure on myself to make it look like this, or I have to laugh 10 minutes a day, or something like that. So when you think about like, you know, that laughter practice and kind of the mentality that you now have with laughter, how do you kind of recommend that brain retrainers, people in an active brain retraining program who are using laughter as a tool, can use it in a way that feels authentic and that also helps them to elevate their brain training practice?
Hmm. Um, yeah, I feel like they're two separate answers. Well,
That's
not
okay.
really.
They were
Like,
kind
I
of
feel
two
like
separate questions.
I feel that the authenticity has to come first before you can really, the authenticity and the choice are key. So, like, just choosing, even if it feels weird, if you keep choosing to just laugh in your way, not imitate the other person's laugh or feel that it has to sound a certain way or anything like that, that's key to start off with. I guess for elevating the practice, like, one of the things that I really love is something like that I mentioned at the start, using it when you are triggered or when there is something coming up to create this really rapid turnaround, like basically just turn the situation on its head.
Mm.
Because what that does is, rather than taking the old route, right, the old beliefs, the pops for those from, right, patterns of the past, it just goes, oh, that trigger's there. I'm starting to think, I feel, whoa, hold on, I'm laughing. It's like completely different. And well, funny that I do this action. It's revolutionary because it's changing and literally spinning around the cycle of what's going on from the point of that trigger through to laughter. And I feel, like, for anyone who's watching, I've never done DNRS or any of those kinds of brain retraining programs. I guess I come more from coaching and rewiring your mind and those kinds of things. So I feel that that's one of the most elevated ways to retrain your mind, is like in that moment where something comes up, it goes. And that might not be every day. So I don't know if I've answered your question, but if it's not every day and you want to dig into some of the things that trigger you every day and flip them on their head with laughter and practice that, if you have a family member who is really difficult to deal with, or a colleague, or some kind of situation that comes up frequently in your life, just imagining that and laughing with it, and then replaying it in your mind and laughing with it and laughing with it, you'll change the way that your mind and body and nervous system are perceiving and responding to that stimulus, that event, that situation, that person, those words that are spoken, whatever it is that's triggering you. And you can practice that without the situation coming up.
Yeah,
and then when it comes up in real life, your system will be ready, because that pathway is already formed to roll into, not that you're going to start laughing in the middle of the conversation, but you'll feel much more neutral. And it's not about feeling super happy about the things that normally annoy us or make us angry. It's about that dissipation of the negative energy and that neutralization, so that we can still be calm and clear in that situation, rather than being hot-headed or upset, deflated, depressed, whatever.
Yeah, totally. I love that. Again, you're the one deciding. And laughter is such a unique tool that you can use to kind of change your approach to that trigger, any situation where you're like thinking ahead of the experience, I want to mentally rehearse this experience so I don't feel this particular way. So I love laughter for that reason, as that sort of mental rehearsal tool. That's really cool. So when we just don't feel like laughing, and when we feel just blah and icky and like stuck, what do you recommend doing? And is there any particular laughter exercise that you would use in that moment?
It depends on the situation as to whether I use laughter. I mentioned off air before we started the interview that I might just have a tantrum.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if you realized that I was serious when I
love that idea, that releasing of emotions, it can be really helpful in that tame way, that environment that's tame.
Yeah, so it's something that I came across last year, and the lady I learned it from called it completing the stress cycle. And so we had options, but this was a process every day through an 8-week program that we would go in, kind of feel into what's niggly or what's bothering us slightly or whatever. And we would then identify that, feel where it is in the body, and we would release that through, I think she gave us 7 different options for how to do that. Laughter wasn't one of them, but when I've done it with my clients, I use laughter as one of them, of course. There was primal screaming, so like into a pillow. There was punching your pillow. There was a full-on tantrum where you're just whatever, screaming, kicking, whatever you want to do. And as Lindsay said, this is in a contained environment. You can stomp your feet, you can scream, you can, punch the pillow, whatever. One was go effing wild, which was just the 7th option. It's just like, just go nuts. But it's about releasing that energy that's there so that we can come to things fresh. And I look at my son, who's just over 2, and I've noticed through his life he just has a tantrum, and then once he's done with the tantrum, like that's it. There's no holding on, like holding grudges, all that kind of stuff that adults seem to do. It's just like, oh yeah, well that's done. And the tantrum might be very quick. It might be 15 or 20 minutes, but it's out and it's resolved. So I find that a really good process. But if I am choosing to use laughter and I really don't feel like laughing, one that always gets me going is looking in the mirror and doing like a squish face or a silly face laughter. So for those exactly.
That made me laugh.
Because once you see the ridiculous faces that you pull, then you start laughing, and then you just think of more funny faces, and then you're on your way. So that's one that I use quite a bit if I need to get myself laughing and I really don't feel like it.
Yes, yes, I love that. I love that specific, tool. That's a really easy go-to one to use. And also something that you said just about there's so many different ways that we can make positive changes to our brains, and some things resonate with some people while other techniques resonate with other people. And I think just having that mentality of we're retraining our brains all the time so that we can use these fun little quirky tools like laughter yoga and other tools that can make these positive changes to your brain in different ways. I just love being able to kind of introduce that to help elevate people's brain training practices in this process, this journey of self-discovery and healing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really cool, and I really appreciate you inviting me along to share my quirky little tips with everybody.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So for more on Bianca and her quirky tips and her little face squishies, I love that way.
Find me online.
Sure. You can find her on youtube.com/Bianca Spears. And we have some exciting collaborations coming up about how to elevate your brain training practice. So for those of you active brain retrainers, look forward to that. So Bianca, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.